Good morning, good morning. Welcome to In the Garden with Joyful Living. I am Kimberly Dixon. Again, guys, sorry for my faithful watchers that I haven't tagged anyone this morning. Again, Facebook just won't let me tag people when I go live. Because if I tag anyone, it says gives me this message. And even if I disagree with it when I think I'm live, I'm not actually live. So I'll go back and add your names in the comments to make sure that you don't miss this morning's broadcast. But while we wait for a few people to join us, I'm going to go ahead and start showing you the garden this morning. So we have our petunias. You want to make sure that as the flowers die, that you pull them off so that you will continuously have additional ones blooming so that you have a beautiful plant at all times. So again, just like on last Saturday, it rained last night. But we have to be careful about the forecast. Last week's topic was forecast. But we have to be really careful with that because I talked about that they were calling for rain 5 out of 7 days. But it only rained once last week. So be careful for when someone is forecasting the future. It may not necessarily be accurate. So you want to look for yourself. Be very aware of what's going on. But to continue showing you the garden, gosh, y'all, look at that eggplant. That thing is so pretty. Even if I didn't eat eggplant, which I do, I love it, that plant is pretty enough just to grow for the looks. The Roma tomato. Look at the little baby tomatoes on there. They're going to be so delicious. And we got green onions and chives. This is basil that I planted this week. I started it indoors, so I transplanted it. And then the marigolds are in the back doing their thing. This straight 8 cucumber is looking amazing. The mancha cucumbers are doing their thing. They've got their true leaves now. The zucchini is still looking kind of yellow, but I'm working with it and feeding it and giving it peroxide to fight anything that may have been either in that tote or in the soil, which I don't think it's in the soil because the beans have the same soil in them and everything else is thriving. But my zucchini is looking a little yellow. Look at this jalapeno pepper. This thing has grown so much. It's got its flowers on there. But peppers take a long time to mature. It's got flowers on it and it's ready to start putting out fruit. This morning, but we're back. It start putting out fruit. Peppers take 120 days. But by the end of the summer, you'll be getting peppers almost every day. Red cayenne peppers looking wonderful. This raspberry bush, it still doesn't have any leaves on it, but it's alive. It's still every day it's getting more of the little prickly hairs on it. Cherry tomato is looking amazing. Look at the cluster of tomatoes that are growing. Well, you can't see over there, but over there are Cherokee Purple, Early Girl tomatoes, and Better Boy, and the Early Girl and Cherokee Purple all have fruit on them. The Bee Balm, the sweet banana pepper. This is actually the sweet peas that are starting to climb, and marigold. Lettuce is still improving slowly, but it's coming. That's arugula seeds. I actually dropped a pack and half the seeds fell in this with the bee balm, but it's okay for them to stay there because the bee balm will protect it when it gets really hot. The ginger hasn't started coming up yet. More zucchini, more straight 8 cucumbers, more zucchini. I love zucchini, guys, and I like to be able to share. But one of the things I'm most excited about are the strawberries. Look at that beautiful strawberry. But then Look at all of those strawberries that are growing. My goal this year is to get some of them, because last year, not out of this particular bucket, but out of another bucket, the squirrels got them all. Green bell pepper, mint, lettuce is still thriving, red bell pepper, more bee balm, spearmint. I love spearmint. When you put it like in fruit salad, it gives it a burst of flavor that is unimaginable. But guys, look at this. Remember, for weeks now we've been watching to see if anything was going to happen with the asparagus, and just this week things started popping off. That's asparagus, and this is asparagus. It doesn't look like what normally asparagus does. It did when it first came up. Excuse me. But with asparagus, you just let it grow the first year, but then in the decades to come, you won't have to replant it. It'll grow back on its own. And we planted 8 roots, and 3 of them are coming up, so that's about, what, 37%? Which is about the average for what happens in life. Good morning, Tara. So we're going to have to come and do a live episode in the Woosar garden, because Tara, you got some great things happening there, and we want to be a part of that. But since we've got some people watching, we're going to go ahead and get started this morning. So our topic for this morning was, it's not too late. And it was my son who gave me the idea to do it. He was like, why don't you talk to them about, just planting? So we have this time. And my friend J. Dwayne Garnett, who is not on yet this morning, talked about this morning. I mean, not this morning, but last week, he did a live about time and space. So I wanted to follow up on this construct of time. So we only have 24 hours in a day. There's 60 seconds in a minute. That's definitive. That's definite. There's nothing we can do to change that. But there's also this illusion of time that we operate under in our lives. Yes, every man has a time to be born and a time to die. So in that sense, we do have a definite time frame. But what is flexible and fluid is the time and the way it operates in your life individually. So oftentimes I'll look at what's going on in Tara's life. Tara may look at what's going on. Good morning, Chris. Look at what's going on in my life and think, gosh, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not doing as much as I should be doing. I'm failing. Because we are looking at someone else's time, someone else's space, what someone else is doing, and then holding that measuring stick up to ourselves when we're not doing the same thing. So there's a different process. Tara and I, we are both nature lovers. We both do a lot of things with nature, but we don't do the same thing. So what my in the garden with joyful living versus what looks like the Woosai garden looks like, it's different. They work together, but they're not the same thing. And that takes me on to another subject about, when we compare ourselves to other people and we don't support them because they do something similar, that is the wrong kind of mindset, where if we work together, we can push and propel each other into the stratosphere where we are both successful beyond our imagination for whatever our purpose was, because our purpose wasn't the same thing. Tara wants to teach people how to take that moment to just woosah and to let it go in your daily life of being a mother, a wife, a business owner. Good morning, Shanae. Girl, you just popping off, looking all wonderful and stuff. I saw you in Jamaica looking beautiful, and I'm so proud of everything that you've accomplished. But even Shanae does something different in life, where she teaches people about how to be healthy and how to eat on a keto diet. different from what I do, but we can still all support each other. But when it comes to gardening, it's not too late. So we think about today is a May 7th, and we think, okay, it's too late for me to start my garden. But in North Carolina, we are in zone 7B. We are blessed with a long, abundant growing season, pretty much year round, because even the things that we plant in the fall that are fall crops will thrive throughout the winter because we don't get sub-zero temperatures. So even if you haven't planted a single solitary thing, I want you to know it's not too late. Now, don't start trying to grow tomatoes or peppers by seed now. It is too late for that. It takes months for those plants to get big enough to be able to put them outside. And as I said earlier, it takes 120 days for a pepper, excuse me, a pepper to grow to maturity. But your plant needs to grow for a few months before that process even begins. So don't try to start a pepper or a tomato plant from seed at this point in May. But you can go out to any garden supply store, any Lowe's or Home Depots, or a family supply store in your community. Go buy you a tomato plant. Go buy you a pepper plant. There is nothing wrong with that. Because we sometimes think that, oh, I'm not a true gardener if I didn't grow everything from seed. Let me tell you something. I didn't start out growing things from seed. I didn't know what I was doing. So why not let somebody else do the groundwork where they are most likely to die? Get a plant with a few months growth where it's less likely that you'll kill it. Go get you a tomato plant. Go get you a pepper plant. Go get whatever kind of plant that you want. And start from there. I have people talk to me all the time about, I have a brown thumb. I can't grow anything. I know you can grow something. Most of the time, what happens with our plants when they die is because we're giving them too much care. Listen, these things were created by God. They know what to do. All you got to do is give them a little bit of water, and I mean a little bit of fertilizer, and let nature take its course. But oftentimes, our brown thumb is caused because we're giving it too much care. We're giving it too much water. We're giving it too much fertilizer. But this is the thing you can never give it too much of. Plants love it when you talk to them. I've had plants that were on the verge of death, and I would talk to them and be like, you can do this. You are wonderfully and beautifully made. You can do this. And I promise you, those plants live. So the words that we speak, it has so much power, and it can transform things, and it sets the atmosphere, not just for the other people in your life, but the plants and the other living things that are around you. Your pets, they know when you're being loving and kind to them versus being mean and shouting to them, if you're shouting at them. So it's not too late. It's not too late for you to start your garden. No matter how old you are, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, it's not too old for you to pursue that dream that you've always had of something that you wanted to do. Listen, don't look at other people's time stamp. Such and such person climbed a mountain when they were 25. I'm 50 years old. I can't do that now. Baby, yes you can. Train yourself. After being disabled for the first 45 years of my life, all I wanted to do was go hiking. And after I got my knees replaced, I walked every day with my walking sticks right in my neighborhood on flat surface. And, you know, at first I felt kind of embarrassed about it. I was like, I don't want anybody looking at me. What are they thinking? But then I had to change my mindset. Girl, you're doing this for you. And a few months into the process, this young guy, I know that guy couldn't have been more than 24 or 25 years old, stopped me one morning and he said, you know what? You inspire me. I see you out here walking every day. So no matter what the weather is out, you're out here walking. He was like, I don't know what you're trying to do. He's like, but I want you to know I'm proud of you. You never know who is watching you. Let's see, Tara said, I'm addicted to checking on them throughout the day. I do too. That's love, baby. That's not addiction. That's just love. They grow so fast, and a couple of hours can change everything. Girl, I did an impromptu post about that this week. In the blink of an eye, everything can change. That can be in your life and it can be with your plants. So last Saturday, there was no evidence of anything in the asparagus bed. And I came out one morning just to have my breakfast. And I was surveying around as I do every day and looked over and 2 of the asparagus had popped up. I literally screamed because just like that, in a blink of an eye, what was a bare bed is now going to provide food for the next 10 to 20 years. I compared that to the promises of God. What looks like nothing with the naked eye right now, and blink, and the landscape will be totally different. A couple of weeks ago, these plants didn't look like this. Now they're looking more lush. They're getting height to them. They are thriving. But when I first planted them, they were short. They didn't have any flowers on them. But in just a blink of an eye, things have shifted. And then Tara came back and said, GPS to joy. I loved hiking with you. GPS to joy was so wonderful to be able to spend that time out in nature, talking on the trails, and everybody supporting each other and taking pictures. And Tara, you remember hugging trees and walking barefoot. We did it with the chiropractors, Krishana Clark and Chris. What a wonderful experience. But then we finished the day by going on a meditative experience. Speaking of which, guys, I've just started doing corporate workshops with that guided visualization. So if you work in corporate America, you have a business and you want your employees to experience a journey with their 5 senses, let me take you there. Because Tara can testify to how vividly it stays with you, just like she's still sitting in, was it Paris? Paris, at a cafe with a cup of coffee, or on a mountaintop, or on a beach. I remember taking one lady on a road trip on Route 66 because she loved road trips. Yes, Tara, hugging a tree is a must. Honey, didn't it shift something in you? That first GPS to joy, I think it changed something in all of us. That was a magical experience. And I'm not hiking anymore, because at one point I was hiking by myself, and God told me stop hiking alone. So we have to listen to the Holy Spirit when He's whispering things to us. But guess what, guys? I'm walking again every day. So maybe by the fall, Tara, we can do another GPS to joy, because we've been through the last 2 years have been an experience like nothing we've ever experienced in the world. Definitely not in the 21st century, but nothing like this has happened in the world. Yes, we've had pandemics before. I think it was the flu pandemic of 1918, but I don't think they were worldwide. This thing shut the world down. And because of that, all of us have experienced death, whether it was in our immediate family or not. We've experienced a loss and a grief. Good morning, Sarita. Excuse me. So I've started these corporate workshops and workshops for groups with the guided visualization to help us restore some of our well-being. We lost something, but it's time for us to get it back. The world is different now, but that doesn't mean that it can't be good again. So if you know anybody who wants to participate in a workshop, or you want to do one at your house with your girlfriends, or with your family, with your kids, this is something that all of us can participate in to start the process of healing and restoration. Because yes, things have died down. You know, we keep having the little upticks and things of that nature. But it's time for us to start feeling like ourselves again. And I can help you do that with these workshops with guided visualization, to help you see something different, to help you start feeling something different, to let go of some of the weight. But to get back at Tara, you got me all off topic. But to get back to the thing, it's not too late. for you to do whatever it is that you wanted to do in your life. And I want to take this minute to Sarita is watching. Guys, I'm sorry. The pollen out here. You would think it rained last night that the pollen would have died down, but it didn't. So I'm going to have to go ahead and end in a minute because I'm getting ready to start coughing even more than I am now. But I want to brag on Sarita for a minute. When I started with FEP, Sarita was a claims processor. But she was going to school. She moved to, I think it was CAR. Then she moved to being an auditor. And now that girl is doing anything she want to do corporately, because even though she was already an adult, she said, this is what I want to do with my life, and I'm going to make it happen. So when I tell you that child inspired me, I'm not crying, y'all. I'm coughing. But this is the beauty of life. You get what you get. So just made major moves. So it's not too late. If you're in your 20s or 30s, if you were a teen mom, don't let me get talking about that. I meet so many young women that feel like it's too late for them to do certain things because they made a judgment error in their teens, and now in their 20s, when their life hasn't even really begun. Yes, it's different, but you still have the capability and the capacity to do everything you ever wanted to do. And guess what? You'll be even more impactful and powerful in your world because your child is watching you. But if you go home and sit down and say, I can't do anything because of this, then two things are going to happen. One, you're going to get stuck in your life. You're never going to achieve anything. But two, your child is watching. Again, they're watching. So they're going to feel like they are burdened, and you're teaching them to do the very same thing that you're doing. Nothing. There you have it. But it's not too late for you. It's not too late for me. Yes, the pandemic put things on hold with Joyful Living with Kimberly Dixon, but it didn't stop the garden. As a matter of fact, the garden grew. It didn't stop Tara from developing the Woosah garden, even though we don't have authors and art anymore. And that place was magical to all of us. But it's a new season. It's a new season. It's time to grow something different. Even 2 years ago, I didn't have a child in the house with me. Now I have a 13-year-old baby. That's mine. He's my child. Tara said, a rose is still a rose. Baby girl, you're still a flower. Girl, don't make me shout. But I was just reading some additional comments. Bring water with you moving forward, lady. And you know what, Tara, the funny thing is, I always have something to drink with me out here. I always have something, and I don't have anything this morning, but you said, got a whole sun. You go. Yep, a whole sun. So, a few months ago, somebody told me, they said there were different paths to motherhood. And I was like, you know, you're absolutely right, because I may not have birthed him, but he is still mine all the same. And just as if I had given birth to him, I'm going to give him the absolute best. And everything that I've got, I just feel like God was, he was maturing and growing me, so I would be able to help this little seed grow into a beautiful flower or plant that he's supposed to be. And he is. That's exactly the thing that's happening. So if he's still watching, baby, put the link to your YouTube channel in the comments. Please go follow him. When I tell you this little boy is bad musically, he is bad. Tara, you know. So support my baby. Subscribe to his YouTube channel, and just watch how God uses him and grows him over the next few years. This child is 13 that is making beats that you could use professionally. Girl, that Latin beat, I have listened to it so many times because I love it when I give him a challenge and then he comes back in 5 minutes and goes, how about this? Like it was nothing for him. But that Latin beat, that thing was straight fire. I was like, oh my God. Thank you, Chris. Chris is my baby, y'all. So that's it. That's his channel. Go subscribe to it. Like his video. Share his video. Share one of his videos on your page. Help him get his views up. So, I put my stuff on YouTube too. But any way that I can support him, this is a garden. He's got a different type of garden. His garden is music. So let's help him grow some beautiful giant trees in his garden. So guys, y'all, I have talked about everything under the sun this morning. But I think it all ties into this construct of time, where we think it's too late. It's too late to be a mother. It's too late to be a gardener. It's too late to be a business owner. It's too late to go back to college. It's not too late. Start now. Push your life in the direction that you want to go to. Because I said this a long time ago. As long as you still have got a breath in your lungs, it's not too late for you. Take advantage of every opportunity, every second, every minute you get. Ride this thing till the wheels fall off. That's what I plan to do. And I plan to be here till I'm 102. And then I'm going to leave here, exit stage left peacefully. But until then, I'm going to ride this thing called life to the best of my ability. No matter what it shows up like. Hills, valleys, mountain highs, mountain lows. Right, we riding the waves or slightly under the surface. We're going to keep rolling with it. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I love you all so much. And I will see you here next week. Bye-bye.